the Newcastle Arena. It's noisy, as you can hear, and extremely excitable after a quite extraordinary 3 rounds of boxing for the WBA World Super Middleweight title. In anticipation of our main event here tonight, Prince Naseem Hamed defending his WBO World Featherweight crown for the 2nd time. I'm just hearing that the Prince has arrived for work here at the arena. This is the first time he's fought in Newcastle as a professional, and he's very keen to win the hearts and minds of the locals. And round these parts, take it from me, there's no better way of winning friends than to wear the black and white of Newcastle United. That is a very smart PR touch, and if it produces a characteristic performance in the ring tonight, then they'll probably have to start a new fan club in the northeast for this man who hopes tonight to spread his fame further in this side of the Atlantic, and also watch tonight on American television coast to coast for the first time as he tries to establish himself as a world star of boxing at the young age of just 22. He's done it all right so far. 21 wins in 21 starts as a professional. We're joined tonight, Barry McGuigan and myself, by Jim Watt. Now, this was a...
one hates to mention it, but the last boxer to wear a Newcastle United shirt into the ring here was Nigel Benn, who lost his title to Sugar Boy Malinga. But it seems to be a kind of obligatory public relations gesture up here. Even got the name on the back there.
Well, now's the time that Naz really should be concentrating on the fight. I'm not sure that's a good thing. He does do things different, unlike anybody else, and he gets away with it. But you would think now he wants to get his mind on the job.
Factors which may explain why he looks so relaxed and workmanlike in preparation for this fight. No stranger to fighting on these shores. He has fought 4 times in the past year in Britain, and in building up a 15-fight unbeaten run as a professional, quickly getting himself installed as #1 contender for Hamed's crown. As you can see there, pretty rangy and quite a capable customer from everything we know of him. He will certainly have a reach advantage over Hamed tonight, but can he make it pay? And can he get through and deal with the extraordinary athleticism that Hamed has brought to his task over the past few years? Quick word on the behaviour of Wayne Llewellyn. Is it going to go down as a win or a night where he's lost something, Jim Watt?
Yes, I think so. I mean, after a very poor performance, it's the last thing you wanted to put a clincher like that one. I think the Board of Control will take action. I think they're entitled to take action. A couple of times during the fight, he stuck his tongue out, and that was a deplorable way. I mean, a sport that now and again gets a bad image, that's the last thing you want. No, we can do without that. The Board of Control...
I think in fairness to the guy, he realised he'd made a mistake. His hands is his head's in his hands. He realises that he's made a silly error. He was just delighted to get this one over. It was a horrible performance. It was a messy fight, and you know, his reaction, Gascoigne's reaction here, and then of course the silly jab. He didn't really hurt the guy, but watch how quickly he realised he's made a mistake here. I thought, oh, silly.
See, it was a messy fight, but it wasn't a spiteful fight. I mean, there wasn't knocking heads together and taking liberties with each other, so there wasn't any reason for spite at the end of the fight.
Well, I know there wasn't. Yeah.
A fighter should look upon that as the end of the fight and walk away from it. I think the board will have to take action on that.
I appreciate that. The Board of Control will probably penalise him for that, but again, he did realise he had made the mistake.
Prince Naseem Hamed coming shortly here, but first up, as we await the arrival of our star attraction...
Ready for this second defence of his WBO Featherweight Championship tonight. He says he's going to win it in the 3rd round. We'll see.
It was just the hard work that won the fight for him.
It was a little grudge fight, that, on the undercard, a rematch. There'd been a few arguments about the first decision Davey got earlier on in the year. No doubts about it this time. He knew it too, and I think so too did Lynch, who is being told, I think, to go back into the ring. He's just outside the ring apron there. Here's the margin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee's scorecard at the end of 4 rounds reads: Craig Lynch, 38.5 points. Hugh Davey, 39.5 points. The winner, Hugh Davey.
3 rounds to 1 for Hugh Davey, who repeats his earlier victory over Craig Lynch as we settle back now and wait for the big world title fight. Prince Naseem Hamed against Daniel Alicea of Puerto Rico, who just might be the most dangerous man the Prince has fought so far.
Rather fitting in a way, perhaps, that on a night of such theatre here in Newcastle, we do have the opportunity to remind us that it's men like those two who provide the hotbed of boxing. Those are the sort of young men who put their bodies on the line week in, week out to make this the great sport that it is. A great spectacle at the top level, and showmen like Hamed fill arenas like this. But even for the Prince Naseem Hameds at the top of world boxing, there's a community spirit feel to their preparations. And Adam Smith witnessed an extraordinary day out for Hamed and the rest of the Brendan Eagle camp in the build-up to this big fight tonight.
Lindholm, South Yorkshire. 670 inmates. No way out. These faces are preparing the ultimate ring challenge behind bars. Naseem Hamed will lead his Sheffield fighters into unknown territory. The prisoners wait with open arms.
Naz, I'm going to give you these. I'm going to knock you out 100%. You're all mine. The number 2 round, you're going down. See you later.
Meanwhile, Sheffield's ringmaster Brendan Ingle is rousing his troops, for their careers are on the line. At the appointed hour, the Prince moved in.
You know, Chad.
But being featherweight king carries little weight inside. To the guards, he's just another visitor to search. To the inmates, he's an equal. Naz needed to outcite them to gain any respect.
You can't put these muscles on your chin.
I know that.
So if you get banged on this chin, you know what's going to end up happening, don't you? Just remember.
The prisoners gathered for a final team talk. Rules: inmates can hit boxers, but boxers can't hit back. Naz had his troops buzzing, and he wasn't conforming to any laws.
There's no rules. There's no rules and no regulations. You just got to get out there and fight for your right. At the end of the day, we're in prison. But at this moment in time, I can honestly say I'm in prison. But I'm not here for doing anything. I'm here just basically doing a boxing exhibition.
500 packed into the arena. Public on one side, prisoners segregated on the other. They knew Naz wouldn't fight with the crucial defence 8 days away, but you can't stop him entertaining. His gym members followed suit, and so did the inmates. The action got underway, the prisoner wading forward for the knockout, the boxer Johnny Nelson using skill and speed. This is very much Naseem style, natural balance and movement demonstrated to perfection by young middleweight Ryan Rhodes. Heavyweight Pele Reid went for raw power. And Herbie Hyde scored the first knockdown in his comeback. The only risk Naz was taking was to mix with the crowd, while back in the ring, the boxers began to suffer. John Thaxton caught. Paul Griffin roughed up. And Kevin Adamson in so much trouble, Naz threw in the towel. The final embarrassment was left to Clifton Mitchell. His fight on June the 8th almost bit the dust. Naz wanted to restore the pride and was dying to join in. Fortunately, Brendan called a halt to proceedings. Respect had grown between boxer and prisoner. The evening had been a tremendous success and a £1,000 raise for local charities. Naz had taken time out for the fun, but now it's business and this vital world title fight.
I'm feeling victorious, as I've always felt again, and I just can't wait for the fight because somebody's going to get knocked out, and it ain't going to be me.
The Prince emerged relatively unscathed from his time inside, but as he makes a transition back into the outside world, he might find real danger in unbeaten Daniel Alicea.
Superb to see the spirit of boxing carried right across the breadth of the community there. Jim, he doesn't do very much that's orthodox in his preparations, Naseem Hamed. What do you make of the way he gets ready?
I don't think there's anything orthodox, whether it's his lifestyle, his preparation, or the way he actually boxes. That's what makes it so difficult for other fighters to prepare for him. But you couldn't possibly change Naz and ask him to do the things like the normal manner. He would lose everything he has. But for other fighters like Johnny Nelson and Earl Bomber Graham, who were equally difficult to hit, but it's Naz's power that shocks and surprises me. Tremendous power. Doesn't have to set himself to deliver that power. Tremendous power for a featherweight.
Barry, will he surprise Daniel Alicea with that tonight?
I think he will surprise him. Looking at Alicea in the dressing room, it would appear that Alicea doesn't really realise what he's getting himself in for. He's 15 fights with 15 wins and plenty of stoppages along the way there. But quite honestly, he's only a baby and he has not had a chance to develop. We see him here against Marcus McRae and in one of his earlier fights. Good work coming forward, non-stop aggression, stays on top of you, keeps pressurising you, punches from all different angles. Again, we see him here against Louis Spada, working the body, using the jab, getting up close, and you know, there's no doubt about it. He's a good, thorough professional, but still too early in his career to have developed into the complete package. You know, that's what my doubts are. But there's no doubt, finishing ability. Watch the way he finishes. When he has you in trouble here, great left hook where he finished Spada there. Just a little short left hook, done the trick.
Potentially, do you feel he's got the punch power to do what so many of you professionals have said, that Naseem Hamed has not actually been really hit on the chin yet?
Well, no, I don't think this guy has the sort of concussive punching power to take Nas out with one shot anyway. But he certainly has enough power to hurt him. What I'd like to see is, I'd like to see Nas get into a situation where he has to dig deep and he has to fight in the trenches. That really will answer the questions that we would all like to see. And if he has got those qualities, he will be one hard act to follow, one difficult opponent to beat.
Only one place to find out, and it's live on Sky Sports Big Time Boxing. Naseem Hamed has astonished us through his appearances on our programmes in the last year or so. Can he rack it up another notch tonight with the United States market watching for the first time live coast to coast with us? We shall see after this break.
Coming soon, Big Daddy Bo defends his WBO World Heavyweight crown against Andrew Golota. Coming soon, new...
Prince Naseem Hamed has swept all before him on this side of the Atlantic as he makes his second defence of the WBO World Featherweight title tonight against Daniel Alicea from Puerto Rico. He's not only being watched live on Sky Sports throughout Britain, but live on American television as well. So Hamed hopes to launch himself onto the world stage tonight in every sense. He's got to do it in the ring. It's the only place in boxing where the arguments get truly sorted out. And tonight we'll see if he can take another step towards his avowed intention of becoming one of the all-time greats. So far, so good. Our commentary team tonight, once more Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark. And we're just hearing that Daniel Alicea is getting his gloves taped up. And in just a moment or two, he will be on the way in front of this heaving arena here at the Newcastle Arena. It's a superb indoor stadium, and for the second time already this year, they have come close to a sellout here for a major boxing event. Maiden races being sung in the background, the anthem of the Northeast. Football's a huge passion, and so too is boxing down the years, and this crowd certainly makes you believe that boxing has a big future in this part of the country. Hamed fighting in front of a Newcastle audience for the first time. Alicea, no stranger to these shores. This will be the fourth time in the past 12 months that he's fought in Britain. Will it be his biggest performance so far? Let's hear from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the main event of the evening, the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Prepare to welcome the participants as they make their way to the ring. First, we introduce to you tonight's challenger and #1 contender, introducing Daniel
Alicea will have other ideas.
And now, making his way to the ring, here comes the defending WBO featherweight champion of the world, Britain's Naseem.
And what ring entrance has he cooked up for us tonight, I wonder? Whatever it is, he's taking his time doing it, Glenn.
He certainly is. Plenty smoke.
Well, it looks like he's starting to believe that he's a real prince.
I think so.
Just as long as they don't carry him out of the ring as well.
Well, I'm sure he'll have other ideas about that, but he certainly found a different entrance. Well, the crowd, they don't see many things like this in Newcastle.
They don't see many things like this in Las Vegas.
The prince is walking from here. Let's do it.
Well, not even Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard ever tried anything quite like this. Not to everybody's taste in professional boxing, it must be said, but this man is all about showmanship and theatre, and he is a ticket seller, and he has caught the public's imagination, and woe betide any fighter who tries to make this kind of ring entrance who can't fight. This fellow can.
That's right, but one man just looking who is enjoying this entrance very much is Alicea. He's dancing in the corner, lots of big smiles, so I think he's enjoying the whole atmosphere here.
There really are times when Prince Naseem makes Chris Eubank look like an introvert. Let's check the tail of the tape for this fight. Alicea, the older man by a year, though he's less experienced, much taller too. Look, 5'7" against 5'3". Same weight, just inside the 9-stone limit. Alicea only 15 fights. Hamed's only had 21 though, and he's knocked out 19 of those opponents. Both of them used to very short fights, an average of 3.5 rounds per fight each.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with our action, at this time we ask you to please be upstanding for the playing of the national anthems.
La tierra de tu origen, donde he nacido yo, es un jardín florido de mágico primor, un cielo siempre nítido le sirve de dosel y dan arrullos plácidos las olas a sus pies cuando a sus playas llegó Colón, exclamó lleno de admiración. Oh, esta es la linda tierra que busco yo. Es Boringen la hija del mar y el sol, 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 del mar y el sol.
¡Que viva Puerto Rico! ¡Viva!
Very disappointing, the Newcastle crowd's response, I'm afraid, to the Puerto Rican national anthem, which was observed with less than reverence.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, boxing fans joining us across the UK on Sky Sports, and sports fans joining us around the world. We welcome you to the Newcastle Arena here in beautiful Newcastle, England, as it is time for the main event of the evening. And it's all brought to you by Frank Warren's Sports Network and Don King Productions, as sponsored by MBC and Adidas. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. President Francisco Valcarcel, supervisor at ringside John Montano, along with the British Boxing Board of Control, the stewards in charge, Nipper Reed and Bob Grimm. Our position at ringside, Dr. Alan Trotter, timekeeper at the bell, Albert Kelleher. Judges at ringside, scoring this bout, Rafael Lopez, Victor Salamon, and Giuseppe Tondaro. And introducing to you our referee in charge, working in this, his 40th world title bout, introducing Raul Cais. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! With the WBO Featherweight Championship of the world scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing red, white, and blue trunks, fighting out of and representing Santurce, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at 8 stone, 11 3/4 pounds, or 125 3/4 U.S. pounds. Here is the former amateur champion who is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 15 wins, no losses, 13 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making his first attempt at a world title. Please welcome the undefeated WBO #1 featherweight contender, introducing Daniel Pipino Alicea. And his opponent across the ring on my right is the colorful defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing gold trunks with black trim. He is hailing from his hometown of Sheffield, England, and proudly representing his heritage of Yemen. His weight the same as his opponent, 8 stone, 13 3/4 pounds, or 125 3/4 U.S. pounds. His outstanding unbeaten record includes 21 wins, no losses, with 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making his second defense of his title. Please welcome one of boxing's young sensations. Here is the one and only and one-of-a-kind, undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, introducing Prince Naseem Hamed. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout now to give instructions, Raul Pais.
Well, while that was going on, Prince Naseem Hamed was trying to taunt Alicea about what he was about to do to him. Remember this fight, for the first time ever, Prince Naseem Hamed being shown live in the United States. The boxing fraternity there have heard all about him, but your average sports fan certainly hasn't. This is his chance to impress them and maybe get all the talk going about a big fight with the likes of a Barrera or a Zuma Nelson. But remember, last time out he won in 35 seconds, Prince Naseem. The fourth fastest win in world title history against Saeed Lawal. What has Alicea got to offer? Good enough to be a world champion, junior champion as an amateur. Naseem, as always, looking to throw punches from unusual angles. There's been talk in the build-up to this of him throwing a secret punch that he's been working on. Two very good left hands from him there. Big factor in the fight is whether Alicea can take a shot. Anyone who fights Prince Naseem will need that quality if they're to beat him. Durability and resilience, because he does hit, by all accounts, like a middleweight, even though he's a featherweight.
Alicea also needs to be able to react very quickly, because the punches from Hamed come from all sorts of angles very quickly. So Alicea has to be able to react. He has to read what Hamed is going to do.
Remember, even a battle-hardened fighter like Steve Robinson, who'd had several world title fights, could barely lay a glove on Prince Naseem. Alicea covering up very well, getting his arms up well to try and block those punches from whatever angle. A right hand gets through from Alicea. He did catch Naseem with one there. Good right over the top, though, from Naseem.
Well, Alicea keeping his hands up quite well. That's very important, the defense. Just as Naseem went to throw his left, he got caught off Alicea's right.
Good, fast right hand from Naseem. Alicea has taken the punches well so far. Naseem is talking to him as usual. He's had some criticism from some sections of the media for trying to humiliate opponents in the past. Thin line between psychological warfare and tastelessness, of course. But Alicea looks full of ambition here and belief.
Yes, and certainly he's not psyched out in any way. Good right hand again.
Oh, he's got him down. Naseem is put down by a right hand. It was only a flash knockdown, but he'll have to take a mandatory 8 count. Down for the first time in his career. What about this in the first round? He wasn't so elusive there. Waving Alicea in.
Well, this is the questions we want asked. What is Hamed like when he's getting hit? And he went down. So this is a very different fight now. We know that Alicea can get to him.
Well, Alicea might have heard about the reputation, but he's taking no notice of it. What about that? Alicea puts Naseem Hamed down for the first time in his career. Flash knockdown, really. But how much has that dented Hamed's confidence? We thought this might be a tricky fight for him, and it shapes that way.
But a good punch there, good long right hand. You see the hands are right down, catches it again, long spearing right hand to the chin. And again, just as he was getting away from that one didn't seem to have the full power in it. But look at that one did. He took that one quite well, Hamed, but there was more to come. That one just pushed him over. There you see it, wonderful punch. You see where the hands were there. Alicea nice and tight with his defence and good reactions.
Alicea, who says he's looked at a lot of videos of Naseem Hamed, he's spotted weaknesses, and he says tonight he will expose them. Has he already started to do that? Second round. Well, this is the most interesting Prince Naseem Hamed fight, well, I'd say, ever, already. And we've only had a round of it. Round two, Alicea in the stripes.
And this is where you wonder what's happening in Hamed's, in his mind. Is his confidence starting to go? Can he keep the confidence up?
Alicea's rangy, long arms, and again, Naseem is getting caught more tonight than I think I've seen him caught in probably 10 fights. Got through with a right hand, but Alicea is showing good resilience so far. Every time Naseem lands, he just takes the punch. He looks a real hard nut, doesn't he?
He really does. He looks strong, but Hamed come back well there with a couple of nice loose punches that really seem to land heavily on Alicea.
The Prince is used to seeing fighters fall apart when he lands with his heavy artillery, but Alicea, so far anyway, hasn't done this. And what's making this fascinating is that Prince Naseem Hamed is being asked questions that we haven't seen before. He's caught by a right uppercut, and that almost limbo dancer-style defence of his is being put to the test.
But often the head movement like that, it's very difficult to get out of the way of all of the punches. He's got to try and get his hands up, Hamed, here.
Just switching orthodox for a moment there, Hamed.
Good solid right hand there.
Oh, left hook, and down goes Alicea. There's the answer. And he's in a bad way, on very unsteady legs. It was a left hook that did it in the second round. And Prince Naseem reasserts himself.
He looked at very heavy right hand, then that little short left hook. He went down heavily there. Bad moments for Alicea.
Can his head clear? Can he get through this? This is a vital last 45 seconds. Another right hand. Has his legs splayed in the corner. Needs to get the gloves up. The final bell for this round cannot come soon enough for Alicea, who lands a very good left hook of his own. Under half a minute left in this round. Naseem looking to build on that breakthrough. Knocked down in both rounds so far.
Heavy punches.
And a left, and I don't think he'll get up from that. It's called off. The fight is over. The fight is over. There'll be no count. He's won it in round two. The 9th time he's won in round two. And that was Hamed's answer to suffering the first knockdown of his career. The finish really was chilling and frightening. And Alicea is still down. And Prince Naseem Hamed retains his WBO featherweight championship against a young fighter who arrived with a lot of belief, who put him on the floor. But Hamed, give him credit, there was the answer.
That's right, Alicea asked Hamed them questions, the ones we've all wanted to know. Hamed answered them fantastically. Very good power punching, found the angles, and really when he went down very heavily. Really does carry some power in his fists.
Alicea managed to land more punches on Hamed, certainly than Steve Robinson did on the whole of the 8 rounds those two fought. It was only 2 rounds, but what an interesting 2 rounds they were.
They certainly were. Alicea really came out to have a fight, wasn't overawed, took the fight to Hamed, hurt Hamed, put him over, and it looked as if Hamed may have a lot more in this fight than he was going to bargain for. But Hamed answered the questions fantastically, came back, beautiful punches and very heavy hands.
This is how it finished. It was a 2-punch combination.
Look, he just gets the rhythm in the shots. The left, the right comes up, and then the following left. All the momentum in these punches, nice rhythm. Also, Alicea caught him there, but he still had enough to land that left hook. And look how heavily he goes down. They were hard punches.
He's now floored 20 of the 22 opponents he's fought, Prince Naseem Hamed. He's scored 38 knockdowns already in his career. Only 2 men have gone the distance with him. But what do we read by the fact that he was put on the floor? Well, you know, people like even Ali was put on the floor, wasn't he, by Henry Cooper and Sonny Banks early on. Nothing wrong with that as long as you get up and win.
Certainly not with the style that Hamed has when his hands are very low. He relies on reactions. And you know, he got caught some decent punches, he went down, but he got straight back up and he was okay. And then to come back and knock his opponent out in that fashion, obviously, you know, it tells a great deal. And there was questions to be answered. He answered them so well there.
He said he'd win in round 3. He did it in round 2. But it was not the usual formality for him. There were bad moments in that fight, and be interesting to hear what he says about all of that, the knockdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 46 seconds of round number 2. Our referee in charge, Raul Kais, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still the WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Mohammed.
Newcastle fans enjoyed that. Hamed fights do tend to be short, but they are on the spectacular side. There'll be talk now, more talk, about a match with Marco Antonio Barrera, the brilliant Mexican. I must say I'd steer pretty clear of him. Not necessarily because Hamed would lose the fight, but it is extremely dangerous, of course, for anybody who fights him. And what about Hamed against the veteran Azuma Nelson, who's recently defended his super featherweight title?
Yes, great fights and prospect, but you gotta put him in with anybody.
Colin McMillan, the British featherweight champion, would certainly be among those towards the front of the queue. He's here tonight working for radio and will be pushing his case. But Hamed has successfully defended the WBO featherweight championship he won from Steve Robinson for a second time.
And I'm sure the American audiences are going to be very impressed with that.
We'll try to get some American reaction for you before we go off the air tonight as to what they might have made of that. Our colleagues from Showtime, the big cable network in the United States, showing this fight. They're the people who show Mike Tyson over in the States. Wasn't in the script for Hamed to go down, that's for certain, but he got up, and how he produced a finish. In just a moment or two, we'll get his version of events when he speaks to Gary Norman. No signs either of the problems with the right hand that he suffered earlier on. Here he is with Gary.
Naz, strong, 2 rounds. Naz, let me tell you, awesome power. You stopped a very dangerous opponent there, and you answered a few questions as well.
To tell you the truth, I felt so good in there, but when he hit me with a good shot, I didn't even see the shot. But to tell you the truth, I got back up, know where my feet were, and when I plant my punches, see, I'm just too strong. When they connected and I put my preciseness together, my accuracy, it connected beautifully. And I hit him. I told you, when I hit him, they're going down from Allah. They're getting knocked out from Allah.
Many people have said they wanted to get you hit on the chin. What did it feel like when you went down for the first time?
It was beautiful. It was good. It was nice to taste, a nice, good shot by a good, very, very good fighter, undefeated. But as you see my heart and my power and Allah behind me, I got up, I planted my punches, planted my feet. Allahu Akbar, I just hit him so hard. He weren't getting up from that last shot, you saw it yourself.
When you need to, you just pull one of those sucker punches out, and it just stops them dead in their tracks.
Just stops them in the tracks, as you say. I hit him so hard, especially the second time. I put my punches together, and I just, boom! There you go.
Now, Showtime were here. That's going to go coast to coast in America. Yeah. It was very important for you to look good.
To tell you the truth, I didn't think I looked as good as I could have looked. The finishing knockdowns and everything like that was beautiful. I knocked him and I hit him with some very, very good shots. But I could have boxed better than that. I could have not got hit at all, and I normally never get hit. But what the hell? I got hit with a good shot. My heart's with me, Allah's with me. I got up, I planted my feet, I hit him so hard. That's why I'm never, ever going to get beat, Gary. I'm never going to get beat. Full stop. I refuse to lose. Allah will never make me lose. I will never lose. Full stop.
What would you like to do now?
Pardon?
What would you like to do now, fight-wise? What's next?
I want to fight any of them. I want to go to the. I don't want to. I want to go to the States. I want to fight in England. I want to box the best fighters in the world. I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm going to knock Barrera out. I'll knock all of them out. Azuma Nelson. They know the punching power. After seeing that fight, they know. I got hit, got up, took him out. I predicted the second round, the third at first, and then I changed my mind to the second round, and I get him a good beating.
You're right, I heard you in the dressing room, you changed from 3 to 2. Frank Warren, that went to America. Is there a possibility he could fight in America next?
There's a strong possibility, but we've got to talk over the weekend, and I'll be talking to the Showtime people and to Don King, and we'll decide what we're going to do. But, you know, you just see the best fighter, I think, honestly, that we produced. He proved, if he's hurt, he's an even more dangerous fighter. He got caught with a good shot, went down, got up, heart of a lion, and knocked the guy out. Absolutely poleaxed him.
I ain't losing that belt.
In many ways, it's good to see them get tested like that.
Everybody wanted to see it happen. Well, you've seen it happen, and you've seen him get up. He fought. He's in there with a good fighter, a very good fighter, big heart. You know, in the lion's den, and the kid took the fight to Alicea and 4 marks in. But there ain't nobody who can take that power. There ain't nobody around. I promise you.
There's a rumour that he could fight on the Tyson undercard. I mean, you know, 2 rounds. He's still ready to go. When could we see him go across the water to the States? 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
I don't know. It's something we're talking about. We'll let you know next week.
All right, we'll watch this space with interest. Last
Gary,
word with you.
See this belt here? I ain't losing, so I ain't going to lose this belt. You see this nice belt? I'm never, ever going to lose. Blatantly. I ain't losing nothing.
What you need is a few more. They'll come. Thanks, Naz.
So Hamid achieves his regular ambition, which is to make the interview last slightly longer than the fight. But he had to extend the interview just a little bit to get to that goal this time round. It was pretty dramatic while it lasted, wasn't it? Thoughts of Jim Watt and Barry McGuigan when we come back, and we'll see the heavyweight prospect, the best heavyweight of the moment in Britain, certainly Scott Wellington.
Never like that in my life. I mean, I had a fairly good temperament.
This is different from when you were a professional boxer,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's a little bit different, yeah.
The game's moved on a bit, really.
Well, I never thought we'd see Naz carried out after the fight, but in this manner we can put up with that, I suppose.
Yes, indeed. What he does have as well, looking around the crowd here at the Newcastle Arena, Barry, young people come to watch this man who may not naturally be boxing supporters.
There's no doubt about it. This guy transcends the sport. People who know nothing about boxing know about Naseem Hamid. The kids watch him. They're interested, and they all want to dance to his music. The crowd were dancing to the music on the way out there. It's part of the show now.